This is Candor Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right into the show. But before we get into the show, don't forget to check out our website, sylviaexpress.com. Hey, fabulous people. How you doing on this Saturday? Okay, as I told you before, Candor Talk is going to be different now. I'm going to be condensing the shows because I think there's some important things that I think I need to talk about. And then there are other things that I think have already been oversaturated in the media, and they don't necessarily need to be talked about at all. Unless I feel like they have misinterpreted something or they haven't explained something that I think is of critical importance. But right now, what I'm going to be doing is the shows are going to be shorter so that things that I think are important or important for that have happened the past week, those things at least can be amplified because it'll be easier to listen to. Anyway, here's a harsh reality for Cult 45. Trump's presidency is on the fastest downward spiral known to mankind. Here are the prospective crimes he could be charged with: bribery, extortion, money laundering, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, bank fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy to defraud the United States, campaign finance violations, and also conspiracy to commit all of those crimes I just told you about. And more. Don't presume that this case did not just take an 180-degree turn. It's no longer just collusion, folks. He's got massive legal exposure, and collusion obviously isn't a crime, it was conspiracy, but nevertheless, he's got massive legal exposure. And despite this glaring reality, the media, in their quest to be the first to report the news, made a serious error the other day. Here's what numerous outlets reported, and I condensed it so you could hear what they were reporting. Here it is.
President Trump's lawyer in the Russia investigation, Rudy Giuliani, also making headlines overnight, saying the special counsel's team told him they cannot indict a president. I want to go to our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega. And Cecilia, Giuliani says this is based on multiple contacts with Mueller's team.
Yeah, George, we've been told that during at least one meeting, Mueller made it clear to the president's legal team that he will not indict President Trump.
The special counsel's office is not commenting on Rudy Giuliani's claim that they acknowledged the president could not be indicted.
This is CNN breaking news.
We have more breaking news coming into the Situation Room right now about special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Our chief political correspondent, Dana Bash, is here. Just spoke with the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Tell us what he said, Dana.
Well, what he said is that the special counsel's team has informed the president's legal team that they concluded that they cannot indict a sitting president. Now, it has...
Okay. No, and no. Should I say no again? Because no. Are people serious? Have they heard the unraveling of Giuliani? People actually believe that Mueller would trust Giuliani with this? Why on God's green earth would Giuliani be told anything about anything at all, let alone a fundamental part of Mueller's strategy? And then the thing is, in typical Giuliani fashion, he walked back this statement that the media was so eager to report. Look, I said this before. Something is wrong with Giuliani. He should be being evaluated, not talking anywhere in the world. He shouldn't be talking anywhere in the world at all right now. But here's what he basically said to the Washington Post when they asked him to explain what he said about this whole Mueller situation. So he said, Washington Post asked him, did Mueller explicitly say he would not charge the president, Giuliani? He didn't say that. One of his, I have to check with Jay, he's in Israel right now, one of his top people told him that. And then the Washington Post asked him again, that he would not charge the president. He can't. He is bound by Justice Department policy. Justice Department policy, if you look at the 1979 memo, says that you can't charge the president. It says you can't issue criminal process against him either. No president has ever been charged. And the Washington Post says, people want to know what Mueller actually said to you, face to face. It seems he was pretty coy. Or did he say something explicitly that made you say, maybe he won't charge? Because the Washington Post is trying to determine, did Mueller really say this? Giuliani. No, face to face. I would say he was coy. He didn't seem to have to want to give the answer. One of his assistants broke in. It reminded me of that scene in The Godfather with Sonny in The Godfather, Marlon Brando playing Vito Corleone, where he said, oh, you're going to take care of us. We can take care of ourselves. One of his assistants broke in and said, well, of course, we're bound by Justice Department policies. Mueller looked at him. Don't interrupt me. Okay. Nothing in there. Nothing, not even one word in there says that Mueller said that he could not indict a sitting president. As a matter of fact, the only claim is that some assistant maybe jumped in and said, we're going to follow, of course, we're bound by DOJ policies. But nothing in there said that Mueller ever said that. And then when the Post asked Giuliani for the name of the special counsel person who gave the verbal assurance of no charge, he replied, "I'll check with Jay and let you know tomorrow." Jay got a call and they said, "We acknowledge that we are bound by the Justice Department policy." Okay, wait a minute. Either Mueller told you that he was not going to indict a sitting president, or someone else told you that Mueller was not going to indict a sitting president, or you were never told that at all. Which one the fuck is it? And that's the problem with listening to people like Giuliani. But nevertheless, the story was already out there. But why did he do that? My theory is that he knows that Trump will be found criminally liable for something. So he's creating a perception that even Mueller agreed that a sitting president can't be indicted. This makes the base believe that it won't and can't legally happen. If it does, it taints the indictment. They'll later argue that it was politically motivated and that Mueller had lied. They'll argue that it was a witch hunt because it's only being brought, despite Mueller saying that it can't be brought pursuant to DOJ guidelines, because Mueller is tainted. This will anger Trump supporters and re-energize his anemic base. It also taints the jury pool as well, because people will start to believe Trump can't be indicted. If Giuliani said it, then it must be true, right? Are you kidding me? It started to work until many of us practicing lawyers started to call bullshit on Giuliani. It's unfathomable that Mueller would weaken his investigation by telling his adversary that he's virtually powerless. It would never happen. And I'm ashamed of those lawyers who jumped the gun and started explaining what Mueller actually allegedly saying that means. He didn't say it. Before we interpret the meaning, why don't we first verify that it was even said? Because it wasn't. There's no court that has ever decided whether a sitting president can be indicted. It's never been addressed. Ever. A DOJ regulation is not the law. Therefore, why would Mueller concede to something that's not even the law and before he concludes his investigation? I said before that Mueller looks like he's trying to indict. And here's what the drafter of the special counsel regulations said. This is what he said. And the drafter of the special counsel regulations, his name is Neil Katyal. His last name is Katyal. This is what he said. The reporting is clearly incomplete. The special counsel regulations, which I drafted, do not say DOJ policy must always be followed. They say that the special counsel can ask acting AG for permission to depart from DOJ policy and rules. If Mueller has the goods on Trump, as I've said before, I think he'll ask acting AG to indict. The regulations put a thumb on the scale in favor of Mueller doing so. If Rosenstein says no, it triggers a report to Congress, both majority and minority parties. Otherwise, there is not necessarily such a report about these matters. The special counsel's regulations dispense with a final report requirement in the Independent Counsel Act. Reports are permissible, but not mandatory, unless their special counsel is overruled. So this is the thing. This is the guy who wrote the special counsel regulations. He is telling you that if Mueller has the goods, Mueller's going to indict if he has the permission to indict. So anybody listen to Giuliani, that's a joke. If Mueller can't indict, then he won't. If he can and has grounds, he will. So to presume at this stage he can or cannot would be premature and irresponsible. No way Mueller would do that. It's very dangerous to push this narrative. Why would they be eager to tell you something so demoralizing without confirmation? If you're worried about whether Mueller can indict Trump or will indict Trump, just relax. Nothing Giuliani said makes sense, like nothing he has said ever makes sense. If you've been paying attention to Mueller, then you know that he's likely the best prosecutor, if not one of the best this country has ever seen. What logical reason would he have to tell Giuliani something like that? Alright guys, that's the end of this first show, this first part of today. Don't forget to check out our Not Normal series. It's about the sheer amount of abnormalities in Trump administration and his enablers. And also subscribe to our channel for more on the series. Also, don't forget to check out Silver Express on Monday. I'm going to do another show tonight, so check it out. Talk to you guys soon. I'll be right back.
Make a dawn in this.
Yeah, man, Mitch Mueller. Drop that bomb buckler.
I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money. We like nip and tuck. Jet like Benny from the Sandlot. Cost $50,000 for my Hancock. Ah, baby. Riding to the top. Driving haters crazy. Never gonna stop. I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money, we like nip and tuck. Wristwatch tip top, pockets on a milli. Give a toast to all my people, we like dilly. Pilot boys staying fly, Super Bowl like Philly. When they ask me if I'm fly, I'm like really. 3 steps ahead, staying on the move. Don't listen to the gossip, it's barely ever true. Don't matter what you say, just matters what you do. They criticize the dog. I'm like, who the heck are you? I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money. We like nip and tuck. Jet like Benny from the Sandlot. Cost $50,000 for my Hancock.